Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2 Unit 5 Review A. Remember to show all your work and to circle your final answers. Okay, so for number 1 through 6, it says to use the functions below to perform the indicated operations. So we have our f of x, we have g of x, we have h of x, and k of x. So number 1 is saying that we start with g of x and then we are going to subtract, sorry, get the right color right here, we're going to subtract k of x. Okay, so when we do that, we always start with parentheses. So we have 6x squared minus 3x plus 9, and I'm going to subtract it to the x squared minus 4. There's k of x, there's g of x. Now, to get rid of the parentheses, I need to distribute. In front of the 6x squared minus 3x plus 9 is a positive 1, and when I distribute a positive 1, nothing changes, okay? But in the back, I don't have a positive 1, I have a negative 1 because we're subtracting. So that turns into a negative x squared, and negative times negative is a positive 4. Okay? And now I just combine like terms. So the 6x squared minus x squared, 6 minus 1 is 5x squared. The negative 3x is all by itself. And then we have 9 plus 4. 9 plus 4 is 13. All right, number 2. Oh, sorry, got to make sure I highlight my final answer. Okay, number 2. We have g of x, and I'm going to add h of x. So g of x, once again, is the 6x squared minus 3x plus 9, and I'm going to add that to 2x plus 7. Now, if it's positive, I don't change anything. It's going to just be 6x squared minus 3x plus 9, and the back is also positive. Positive 2x plus 7. I combine my like terms. There's no other 6x squared. Negative 3x plus 2, well, negative 3 plus 2 is negative x, and then we have 9 plus 7, and 9 plus 7 is 16. So we get 6x squared minus x plus 16. Is this all coming back to you? I hope so. All right, number 3. We have f of x, we have g of x, but both of them have a number out in front of them. Okay, so for the first one, we have 9 times 1/3 x plus 5, and then minus 2 times the 6x squared minus 3x plus 9. Okay, so we're going to do what it says, so I'm going to distribute the 9. 9 times 1 is 9, 9 divided by 3 is 3, so we get 3x. 9 times 5 is 45. Now back here, I'm distributing a negative 2, so negative 2 times 6 is a negative 12x squared. Negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6x. And negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. Okay? And then I'm looking for my like terms. There's only 1x squared, so negative 12x squared. I have 3x plus 6x, which is 9x. And then 45 minus 18 is 27. Positive 27. Almost missed that. Okay. Number 4. So number 4, I have h of x times g of x. Well, h of x is 2x plus 7. G of x is 6x squared minus 3x plus 9. Yeah, plus 9. Plus 9. Now, just for me, I like to stay organized, so I'm going to do the box method for this. I have my 2x plus 7 on the left side, 6x squared minus 3x plus 9. And then we just multiply. 2 times 6 is 12, and then we add the exponents. 2x times negative 3x is a negative 6x squared. 2x times 9 is 18x. 7 times 6 is a positive 42x squared. 7 times negative 3 is negative 21x. And then 7 times 9 is a positive 63. And then after we combine everything, we get 12x cubed. 42 minus 6 is a positive 36x squared. Negative 21 plus 18 is a negative 3x plus 63. Remember, the nice thing about box method is it keeps us very organized. Okay, so now we're talking about k of x, and they want me to plug in h of x. So remember, we start with the k of x, which is x squared minus 4, and then wherever there's an x, I'm going to plug in h, but remember, there's two of them. So this is saying 2x plus 7 times 2x plus 7 minus 4, okay? And then to get our answer, we would distribute. 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 7 is 14x. 7 times 2x is a 14x. 7 times 7 is 49. And then don't forget the negative 4 back here. Okay? And then when we combine like terms, we get 4x squared plus 28x plus 45. So that's not too bad, was it? No. Okay. So now I'm starting with f of x, and I'm going to plug in g of x. So f of x is the 1/3 x plus 5, and then I'm going to plug in the g. So we have 1/3, and then it's 6x squared. 6x squared minus 3x plus 9 plus 5. Okay? And then we distribute 1/3 times 6. 1 times 6 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2, so we get 2x squared. 1/3 times negative 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1/3 times 9. 1 times 9 is 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then when we combine like terms, we're left with 2x squared minus x plus 8. That wasn't too bad. We didn't even have to use a calculator. Multiplying by fractions is easy. Okay, so for number 7, use factoring by grouping to simplify f of x divided by g of x using the given functions. So I have 2x squared plus 12x minus 3x minus 18, and I'm going to divide that by 2x squared minus 3x. So the first thing I have to do is take the 2x cubed plus 12x squared minus 3x minus 18, and I'm going to factor this. So I need to look at my first group and be like, oh, well, they both can be divided by 2, and I can take out an x squared. So the 2x squared comes out, and then I'm left with x. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay? On the back, I can factor out a -3, so the -3 comes out, and then I'm left with x, and the -18 divided by -3 is a +6. So they match, which is what we wanted, so we get 2x squared minus 3. Now that's just the factoring part, but now I'm supposed to divide them. So I have x plus 6 divided by, or x plus 6, 2x squared minus 3. Okay, that's everything. That's f of x. And then I'm going to divide it by 2x squared minus 3. And that's my g of x. And when that happens, those cancel. And what I'm left with, my final answer, is x plus 6. So when I divide those two functions, that's what's left over. Okay, we're going to do the same thing for 8. I'm going to start with f of x, I'm going to factor that, and then we're going to divide it by g of x. So my f of x is 3x cubed plus 12x squared minus 5x minus 20. Okay, and I can take out a 3x squared to both of these. The 3x squared comes out front, and then I'm left with x plus 4. I can take out a -5, and then I'm left with x, and the -20 divided by -5 is a +4, and just like I wanted to, those match. So I have x plus 4, and then our other binomial is 3x squared minus 5. I'm going to put those together. Oh, not pink, black. There we go. So we have x plus 4 and 3x squared minus 5. That is my f of x that we just factored, and I'm going to divide it by 3x squared minus 5, which is my g of x, and then I notice that those cancel, and then my final answer, what I'm left with, is x plus 4. Okay, and there we go, that's the front side. Now, if we flip it over, you notice on the back how, hey, look down here, we had answers. Okay, so you can kind of tell which ones we've done right and which ones we haven't done wrong, which is none of them. So 9 and 10, they're asking us to use synthetic division to simplify f of x divided by g of x. So when we're looking at synthetic division, I take the coefficients, and then for my g of x, I need to take the opposite. So it's a +3, I'm going to use a -3. Okay, so this is my g of x right here. And then my f of x, all I do is look at the coefficients. So the 2, the 5, the -4, and the -3. Okay, we drop the 2. And then I'm going to do -3 times 2, which is -6. And then I add those together. 5 plus -6 is -1. And then I go -3 times -1 is a +3. All right, -4 plus 3 is -1. And then our last one is -3 times -1 is a +3, and those cancel out to give us 0. Now I'm not done yet because now I have to take this 2x squared minus 1x minus 1 and I need to factor it. So when I'm factoring this, I'm looking for numbers that multiply to get to -2 and add to get to -1, and that is 1 and 2, but the 2 is negative. Okay, I'm going to split that middle term to get 2x squared plus 1x minus 2x minus 1, and then, yeah, I got to factor this. Take out the x, take out the -1, so I have an x, I have a -1, and then we get 2x plus 1 and 2x plus 1. So when I'm done factoring this, what's left is 2x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay? I feel we're really, really good at that. So here's my f of x. I'm going to divide it by g of x. So that means the -6. I take the opposite of -6, so it's a +6. And then I look at all my coefficients, the 1, the 2, the -33, and the -90. Okay, we drop the 1. 6 times 1 is 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. 6 times 8 is 48. -33 plus 48 is 15. And then 6 times 15 is a +90. And then we're done with the synthetic division. So we have 1x squared plus 8x plus 15. So I'm looking for numbers that multiply to get to 15 and add to get to 8. Yeah, it's 3 and 5. Now, I like this because my leading coefficient is 1. I can just break it down right away to do my shortcut. So it's x plus 3 and x plus 5. Okay, that's nice. It saves you a little bit of work. Now, for the next part, I know it says to use synthetic division. Okay, so we're still using synthetic division, but they're giving me the real zero to find all the real zeros of the function. So when they're saying that this is a real zero, they're telling me that that's the answer. And when I'm using synthetic division to divide all this time, this is when it stays the same. So I have the 2 out front, and now I'm just going to copy down the coefficients. We're going to do synthetic division again. The 1 drops. 2 times 1 is 2. -1 plus 2 is 1. I take 2 times 1, which is 2. -12 plus 2 is a -12. And then 2 times -12 is -24. And then we get 0. So yes, so far everything is the same. And then we go, well, it's 1x squared plus 1x minus 12. I need to factor this again. So I'm looking for numbers that multiply to get to -12, that add to 1. I can't hear you, but I'm pretty sure you're saying 3 and 4, but this time the 3 is negative. Okay? I have an extra big smile on my face because my leading coefficient is a 1. So I get to go x minus 3, x plus 4, and I'm trying to find all the zeros. I should have put this up here too. So I'm setting everything with the variable equal to 0. So I get that x equals 3, x plus 4 equals 0, so x equals -4. But then my final answer is to put all of my answers in order. Hey, Mr. Grice, why do you have 3 answers? You only found 2. 1, 2, 3. Don't forget the original one that they gave you. Okay? All right. Number 12, we've got our f of x. We've got one of the answers. So -5 goes inside, and then we have 1, 10, 19, and -30. Drop the 1. -5 times 1 is -5. 10 plus -5 is 5. -5 times 5 is a -25. And then we get -6. And then -5 times -6 is a +30. And then -30 plus 30 is 0. So we have 1x squared plus 5x minus 6 equals 0. We need to factor this. So I'm looking for numbers that multiply to get to -6 and add to get to 5. Make sure you're doing your check, because if you put -2 and -3 or 2 and 3, they don't work. Okay, it's 1 and 6 and the 1 is negative. So we get x minus 1, x plus 6 equals 0. Everything with the 0, or with a variable, we set equal to 0 to get our answers of 1 and -6. So putting our answers in numerical order, we get -6, -5, and a +1. Woo! Almost done. 2 more. Okay, so for 13 and 14, they want us to write cubic functions for the polynomial with the given zeros. I have 1, 2, 3 that I need to write. And remember that we take the opposites, so instead of it being x plus 3, it's going to be x minus 3. X minus 2 would be x plus 2, and then the 5 would be x minus 5. I take the first 2, and I'm going to distribute to get x squared plus 2x minus 3x minus 6. And then we have the x minus 5. I'm going to combine my like terms to get x squared minus 1x minus 6 and x minus 5. And then from here, I'm going to do the box method to multiply. I have x minus 5 on the side, and then we have x squared minus 1x minus 6. So we get x cubed minus 1x squared minus 6x. -5 times x squared is -5x squared. Negative times a negative, so that's a +5x. And then -5 times -6 is a +30. So when we combine all of our like terms, we have to label it. So we're going to call it f of x equals x cubed minus 6x squared minus x plus 30. Now I know we haven't been crossing off the answers, but there's only one correct answer left. No, you can't just write that down. You got to show your work. You know that. So we're doing the same thing. Now, the hard one is going to be this 1/3. Now, we do the opposite. So it's x minus 4, x plus 2. And then remember that this is our x, so it's 3x. And then I take the opposite of the 1, so it's a -1. If you need more help on that, please watch the 5.5 videos. Okay? So, same thing, same first step. We distribute 3x squared minus 1x minus 12x plus 4. And then we have x plus 2, so I'm going to combine my like terms to get 3x squared minus 13x plus 4 times x plus 2. And then I'm going to do the box method. 3x squared minus 13x plus 4, x plus 2. So we get 3x cubed minus 13x squared. All we're doing is multiplying by x right now, plus 4x. 2 times 3, we get a positive 6x squared. 2 times 13 is a negative 26x. And then 2 times 4 is a positive 8. So we're going to label it f of x equals 3x cubed minus 7x squared minus 22x plus 8. Okay? Now, if you guys need extra help, please come see Miss Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2 Unit 5 Review A. Thanks for watching.